Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for today's video. This is the 5th video in an installment of 9 videos I'm doing. I'm talking about the diagnostic traits for borderline personality disorder, also known as, or now known as, emotionally unstable personality disorder. There are 9 diagnostic traits. I'm making a video for each one. So, a disorder are problems causing negative effects in your life. A personality disorder is a pervasive pattern of these negative effects, where a person is very rigid. There's a very specific diagnostic criteria for this disorder. Today we use what's called the DSM-V. It's the American Psychiatric Association of Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the 5th edition. I've been meaning to show this in the other videos, and I just keep forgetting. But here it is. This is what it looks like. This is what I learned from, what I use for a lot of my videos. There's 5 editions. Each one changes a little bit, making little changes. I don't know of what's happening about the next one. I haven't heard. So borderline personality disorder, known now as emotionally unstable personality disorder, although I will continue to use the term borderline. You need 5 or more out of the 9 diagnostic criteria. It's a spectrum. You could say we're all on. We are not here to diagnose ourselves or other people. I understand that most of you are watching this video because you're wondering, some of you are wondering if you have this disorder. And the only way to know for sure is to be diagnosed by a mental health professional. And I know a lot of you want to know about the people that were in your life or are in your life currently. And you want to know what's wrong with them to help you understand your experience. And I'm here to tell you that the way that we heal from this is to talk to a professional about this stuff. We need to express our emotions and make sense of our experience. I know this can be a part of it, crucial part of it. So it's a spectrum you could say we're all on. And you could have 3 of these traits. And it could be pervasive in all parts of your life, your whole life, not just situational. It doesn't mean you have the disorder because you don't have 5 or more. Okay? So a lot of you guys watching this might have this trait. You might have it just right now. That's especially not a diagnostic trait if it's just situational. You know, I've never felt this way. Here I am, 40 years old. I lost my husband and my child. Okay? And I have thoughts and feelings of taking my life. Stuff like this. Doesn't mean that you're borderline. Okay? BPD, a mental health condition characterized by pervasive patterns of instability in mood, self-image, and relationships. Impulsivity. Borderlines have a reduced life expectancy of some 20 years, attributed largely to physical health maladies, notably cardiovascular. Stress. Stress is what causes this, and stress is what makes it worse. Stress is what makes these behaviors surface in your relationship. The reason that these people seem okay when you meet them and you don't notice any of this stuff is because it mostly happens in relationships, and it's not when we meet. It's as we attach and get to know each other. These responsibilities cause a lot of stress for them, and fears surface, and they have all these fears, and then these behavioral traits will surface. It takes some time. It could take 6 months to a year and a half. It takes a long time to get to know someone. Learn that. If you learn anything from this, it takes an awful long time to get to know who someone else is. So don't let them in your house, in your home, in your heart, around your children. Don't give money, don't make contracts, and none of this. Promises, future, none of it. Get to know them. Take a year or 2. Stress is the leading cause of death. People who have this disorder, BPD or EUPD, 40% of them also have comorbid with narcissistic personality disorder. I get this question a lot. Are they borderline? Are they narcissists? When you have borderline personality disorder, you're higher in narcissism. And you 40% could have the actual disorder. You could have both. It's actually pretty common and typical to have comorbid personality disorders. Once you have a personality disorder, it's almost guaranteed you have some kind of other disorders. Whether it be eating disorders, addiction disorders, depressive, anxiety disorders, things like this. So, I want to be really clear that this is a very serious mental illness, and what we're talking about today is extremely serious. You don't have to have this disorder, you have to be borderline to have this trait. And I want us to take it very seriously down in the comment section. Please. If you have a pervasive pattern of all 4 videos that I've made so far of 4 traits, and you have this one, you may have borderline personality disorder because you need 5. So we're at that mark now. This is number 5. If you have all of them so far, pervasive patterns throughout your life, guaranteed, then you might have borderline, and you're probably going to have more traits as I go on. Number 5. This is the least that I hear about. So you need 5 out of 9, but most people that I deal with are high on the spectrum. And I'm not saying I deal with borderlines, but I deal with the victims. I help people who've had borderlines in their life somewhere. And so I'm hearing a lot about people with this disorder, but I'm hearing about people that are high on the spectrum, lower functioning. That's why it's causing so many problems. They're so abusive, so toxic, so exploitative. And that's why they're coming to be my clients. There are borderlines that aren't like that bad. So number 5, like I said, this is the least. A lot of borderlines I know have 8 out of 9 of the criteria. Not this one. This is the least one they have. So when you guys say, well, I think someone's borderline for sure, but they don't hurt themselves and they don't want to take their own lives. Say, okay, that's actually common. 8 out of 9. This is what it says. Number 5, reoccurrent suicidal behavior, gestures or threats, or self-mutilating behaviors. So there's a few different things here, and I'm just going to go down each one. Suicide behavior. I can't even say that, even though I said it a minute ago. It could be attempts. And I want you guys, all of you, to know this, and this might help some of you. Our brain is not who we are. It will generate thoughts that we can't necessarily control. And sometimes if we feel like we're trapped and there's no way out and we're so stressed and I want this to stop and I don't know how, we might get thoughts like that, and that's okay. That does not mean that you are going to take your life or that you're a threat. When people talk to me, I know I'm not a therapist, but I try to hold myself to those standards, at least. And if someone's talking to me, I want you guys to know this so you aren't afraid to talk about this to a professional. You can say, I have thoughts of it. I have feelings of it. Sometimes I want to do it. It's not necessarily you're a threat and they need to go contact someone to say, what we're looking for is I'm going to do it. I have a plan. Okay? And that's just for you guys to not be afraid to tell someone that you have thoughts, that you have feelings, you wanted to. It's okay. It doesn't mean you're an absolute threat to do so. And it doesn't mean that they have to contact police. I'm going to, right now. I'm going to, I have a plan. This is how I'm going to do it. That's when we call police. That's when I would contact authorities. Suicidal behaviors would be, like I said, attempts are obvious, right? I do it. I'm successful at it. I fail at it, but I'm trying. I'm talking about it. I'm fantasizing about it. I've heard borderlines sit there and go, well, what if? What if I die? What if I died this way? What if I died that way? What would you do if I died? If I did, all these things, and it's like, dude, stop being concerned about the world without you in it and what everyone's going to do. Like, gestures. Or another suicidal behavior would be talking about it, bringing up my past, right? If I have a past of anything, then I have behaviors, right? If I'm telling you I tried and I tried, I was obviously I failed. Infantilizing. But gestures is the next one. What is a gesture? Gesture could be, I take a gun out. Yeah. I tell you I'm thinking about it, doing it. I feel like doing it. I want to do it. I have a plan to do it. Maybe I'll just take all these pills and not wake up. God, I just wish I could just take a bunch of pills or something and just be gone. And then we have threats. And this is really important. I know a lot of you guys deal with threats of this, someone threatening to do this. That is awful. Okay? It's one thing. Again, it's one thing. If you have these thoughts, these feelings. I think I'm going to do it. I'm afraid I'm going to do it. But to threaten someone for control is one of the most disgusting things you can do. I've been there. It's really tough. I mean, what do you do? If anybody, if just you and someone else in a room together, no one else around, I'm going to do it. I've had more than one person tell me that. I've had one person, I literally talked them off the ledge. And then I called the police. Because I knew if I called the police, he would do it that second. A threat is violence. Hope you know what word I'm trying to say. It's a form of it. We do not accept violence in our life at all. At all. No hitting, no banging, no breaking things. No screaming, no yelling. No threats of any kind. And I tell people that I start relationships with right away, I do not have the V word in my life at all. You are not allowed to be around me at all. And if you threaten me one time with anything, it's over. If you tell me, if you don't do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this unless you do that. Or if you don't do it, none of that stuff. It's over. Done. Don't let people control you that way. You get away from them. Walk right out the room. That's it. I will not. That's my response. My response is I'm gone. It's emotional blackmail. It's literally blackmail. And they're threatening to do something illegal. In most places, not all, most places it's illegal to do this, to take your life. And there's only one response that works. That's call the police. Call for help. You can't do it. You can't do it. They're doing it for control. And anything you do besides call the police is working. You see that? You're scared. You're mad. Anything you did, anything they just did wrong, gone, wiped, erased, right? And then they start controlling you. You can't talk about this. You can't bring that up. You can't bring this up. You can never do that again. You can never act like you're going to go out with a friend again. Nothing, right? You can't go to work. I'll do this. And then we have self-mutilating behaviors. Here's some. Cutting. This is extremely common with people with this disorder. I've seen people with scars covering their arms and legs. It's just so sad. And they're really shamed, and they don't want people to see it, you know? They aren't doing it for attention, and that's a huge misconception. Who in the hell would do that for attention? That doesn't make sense. They actually don't like it. They hide it. They don't tell anybody. It's something they do in private. And the only thing you need to understand is that someone feels bad enough to do that. It's just the harshest thing to judge someone for. It's so sad. Cutting. Pulling hair until it rips out of your head, huh? Picking. Tattoos and piercing. Now, I'm not saying anyone that has them. I have tons all over tattoos. I don't like piercings at all. I pierced my ears myself when I was a little kid. That's self-mutilating. I did it myself. It's because I knew I could. I didn't want to. It sucked. It took me a long time, and I can't believe I did it. No one else would pierce my ears. My parents were against it. I knew that was the only way I was getting an earring in my ear. But they can be forms of it. I listened to a podcast several years ago, and there was a man telling a story, and he said he would get his nipples pierced every now and then. He never wore anything. He would just pierce them. Thanks. See you later. I'll be back, in a few months. And every time he feels like he wants to hurt himself, he just goes gets his nipples re-pierced. Never wears rings in them. Didn't care about that. Didn't want them. Literally did it for the rush of pain. How much he hated himself. Burning yourself. Sticking yourself with needles. Now, this is what people do. I'm not just saying this would be. This is what people do. Hitting or banging your head is so common. It's so common, but I can't see it anywhere. I've never seen this anywhere. It's just, I know it is. And any behavior that's listed as NSSI, which would be non-suicidal self-injury. Any behavior that's not taking my life but injuring myself, hurting myself, would be considered self-mutilating behaviors. And it's really important to understand the difference between seeking attention and why they really do it. It's intense emotion. Emotions are our body doing things. And a lot of people say we might have tens of thousands of different things our body does. And if they're super intense, I mean, imagine 1,000 different emotions, because they don't process them, they don't close them, nothing. They don't look at themselves. So imagine 1,000 different things your body's doing that are super intense. And you can't do anything about it. And they will hurt themselves physically, hoping, and it can work, that the physical pain overrides the emotional pain, the emotional torment. And when you see someone who's mutilated their entire body, you can't help but know how they feel inside. They're literally tortured by their own selves. It's just so sad. Intense emotion or intense memories or intense bodily sensations that they cannot control. The cause, childhood trauma. Unhealed, unprocessed childhood neglect and abuse. And why? Because the physical pain can override or distract them from the emotional pain that they have. Never, ever shame someone for doing this. Never. Please. If you take anything from this video, please never shame or judge someone for doing this. They're hurting real bad, and they need help. And the other thing is you can't. This is severe mental illness, and this isn't something that we help people with. They need somebody that knows what they're doing to help them, and we can't help our own family, our own loved ones like this, not with this. We can't. It can cause you to take your own life trying to help them. Anyone with this behavior does not know who they are. They cannot meet their own needs, so the more you try, the more you lose a sense of yourself and your own life. And more importantly, your health, your emotional, mental, physiological, physical health. You're dying. This is an unstable person that will only cause you stress. We find ourselves in any kind of relationship like this that is too much. We don't understand. You can't make it stop. You can't fix it. It can't help. We step outside of this relationship and we ask for help and we tell someone what's going on. Okay? If you feel this video is beneficial to you, I'd appreciate a thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel and you'll know when more come out. I have 4 more videos coming out just about the diagnostic criteria, 4 more traits. Always ask me questions. Please share your own experiences, examples, stuff like this. It's so beneficial to everybody watching the videos, and I really appreciate when you do that. Thank you. Love yourself first, guys. See you later. Bye.